I'm Linda Sterling Sease. Welcome to my blog, Speaking of Joy. In his book, The Four Loves, C.S. Lewis says, don't let your happiness depend upon something you may lose. To really understand, though, what Lewis meant, we have to split a few hairs. Lewis was actually paraphrasing the writings of St. Augustine. The good saint was desolate over the death of a friend and the pain that created. He lamented that one should only give his heart to God, since all humans will die. Now, Lewis disagreed. He didn't believe that our love should be reserved exclusively for God and in hopes of avoiding pain. But Lewis did say that St. Augustine's position made excellent sense when applied to material things like goods and a home. Loss is something that we experience almost every day, but usually in ways that are more frustrating than painful. My husband loses his wallet several times a year. He loses his phone several times a month. And his car keys? Well, that can sometimes be an almost daily occurrence. Now that would drive me crazy. But my husband, he just takes it in stride. He sets about asking everyone if they've seen his car keys. He rarely gets angry or frustrated. He just accepts the current state of things and keeps his fingers crossed that you have taken his keys. He has definitely taken the words of Lewis to heart. He does not let loss of stuff ever impede his happiness. I once read that every time we lose something, regardless of its importance, we go through a cycle of grief. We experience denial, anger, depression, bargaining, and eventually acceptance. The cycle is always present, but the intensity and duration of our pain, well, that is entirely dependent on the gravity of our loss. Many years ago, I lost my home in the midst of a divorce. I quickly learned that the loss of a house was in no way compared to the loss of a marriage, to the loss of a future imagined. And I also learned, after a long cycle of grief, that loss is inevitable in this life, and so is the unhappiness that it brings. But the loss of those things, well, they were not long-term joy breakers. They were just one of many cycles in my life. And when that difficult cycle had taken its full rotation, the wheels of joy would turn again in my favor. And when you experience loss, the wheels of happiness will turn again in your favor one day too. Until next week, I hope your life is full of joy and gratitude, even if you're going through a loss. I'll see you next week.